Hello and happy Save the Frogs Day. I am Save the Frogs founder, Dr. Kerry Kriger. This is Monday, April 28th, 2025. It's the 17th annual Save the Frogs Day. Thanks a lot for being here. I am in Calcutta, West Bengal, India. And let's see who showed up here today. Feel free to chat in where in the world you are. And hey, start this out with a little plug. Go get your Save the Frog shirt in the Save the Frog shop on our site. Help support worldwide amphibian conservation efforts. Thanks for being here. We got Frederick Kyoko, Nature Hub Collective, logged in from Kenya. All right, thank you. I believe you guys just found us on Instagram at Save the Frogs and shared about Save the Frogs Day. Thanks for doing that. Anyone out there, whatever social media you're on, you can probably find us at Save the Frogs. So at some point today, I would love it if you shared about Save the Frogs Day and tagged us at Save the Frogs and or put in a link savethefrogs.com/day so people can find us. All right. Let's see. We've got Sansona Elvin from MSU IIT. Maybe you can tell us what that stands for. It sounds like an International Institute of Technology, but I'm not sure. And that is in the Philippines. And we've got Nancy, Toad Friend, coming to us from Encinita, San Diego County. Glad you could make it. And we've got Dr. Krishan Sharma, likely coming from Rajasthan, India, Ajmer, perhaps. And Dr. Sharma's been holding Save the Frogs Day events for a long time. All right, let's see. MSU IIT, that's Mindanao State University. Good. Let's see. Iligan Institute of Technology in the Southern Philippines. All right. Hopefully, you know Andre Bon Flores, Save the Frogs grant recipient. And if you go to Save the Frogs Academy, savethefrogs.com/academy, then I'm fairly certain we have a Philippines course in there that's got a couple downloadable posters about Philippines frogs created by Andre. All right, Christian Sharma's been doing this a long time, as have I, 17 years. I founded or I conceived Save the Frogs Day and started it April 28th, 2009, as a way to get teachers and students and politicians and the general public educated about amphibians and doing something to protect them because they are rapidly disappearing. I founded Save the Frogs in 2008 with a mission to protect amphibian populations and to promote a society that respects and appreciates nature and wildlife. And since then, we have had educational programs all around the world, volunteers, supporters, participants in our activities in well over 100 countries. We've had known Save the Frogs Day events in at least 60 different countries. And good. Tell Andre I say hi. Let's see, people out there. If you haven't told us where you're at, let us know where you're coming from. Saha, Nirmal, sounds like you're in India. I'm going to take a guess. Ahmet. And if you have questions for me, hey, this is a good chance to get your questions answered. And I was thinking of holding our actual official Q&A question and answer session towards the end of this event. Hey, what is this event? Save Frogs Day online event. 6 hours I'm going to be on. See how long I can do it. I was already saving the frogs at a school this morning. And yeah, my plan right now, it's 4 p.m. India Standard Time. My plan is to be on until 10 o'clock. May take some short breaks in there and probably play a little bit of music too. But we got a lot of frog education coming to you. All right, no one's got any questions. That's a surprise. I would have thought people would come here and have something they want to share or say or ask, but that's fine because I'm prepared to talk about frogs. And I was thinking, let's see. Hey, welcome Choti Singh. Choti, Save the Frogs eco tourist and a snake rescuer these days. Had a question I know about frogs in houses. If you want to chat anything in Choti or unmute yourself and say something, you're welcome to. Jane Penn, I'm not sure where you're from. Oh, hi. It sounds like we got Choti here.
Hi, Kerry.
Hi, happy Save the Frogs Day.
Thank you. Same to you. My
Thank you.
question, so I'm in a rural area, and my question is if frogs get into rural homes, should people relocate them to the outside of the house or should they just leave them alone?
I
What should I
suggest
advise?
I've always assumed that frogs that get into houses have a high chance of dying in the house because they somehow found their way in, but I usually think it's going to be hard to find their way out. That being said, you're in Zambia. I'm not sure how the houses are constructed. They may be very open and things just kind of come and go, in which case it wouldn't be that big of a deal if they don't mind the frog in there. Usually, though, in a say American suburban home, I definitely try to catch them because otherwise you kind of find them dried up, in like a dust ball in the corner a few weeks later or something. So I like to get them out of there. You don't, but as far as relocate, it's just like a minimal relocation. I just want to
Yes,
get it outside of the house and
right.
I usually put frogs in like a bush or something where they can hide, especially if it's daytime. Or you could potentially, if you have a pond nearby, walk it towards the pond or something.
Okay. I will advise people of that. A lot of people here are afraid of frogs for
Okay.
whatever reason.
Yeah.
So, I do try to educate people about that because we don't have anything harmful. We have one type of frog where I guess if you licked it or rubbed your eyes after touching it, you can have a problem. Um, but otherwise, we don't have any problematic frogs in terms of poisonous ones. However, they do very much get into people's homes, keeping in mind that a lot of insects also get into people's homes, like mosquitoes and flies, etc. So the
Yeah.
frogs have plenty of food inside the homes.
Okay. I'm curious, why do you think, since there's not that many poisonous frogs, and since frogs are not attacking people, why do you think that they have a fear of frogs?
I mean, I think it's just a gross lack of information. So a lot of small things are considered what we would in more Western countries call creepy or that way,
Creepy
like
crawlies.
icky kind of yuck sort of thing, are
Yeah.
considered dangerous here. So frogs, a lot of lizards, especially chameleons, um, they're all considered dangerous, as in it can cause harm or even death.
Yeah. Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
So what do you think a educational campaign to change that would be? Like, do you think you go straight after their fears or just try to make frogs sound cool?
Well, first to allay the fear that nothing will happen. And then, I have tons of photos of me actually holding a frog because they're just everywhere.
Yeah,
That helps. But I do community presentations about snakebite safety. So I would like to address the frog issue because people being terrified of frogs is well, it's ridiculous and it's really unnecessarily harmful to the frogs. They are killed if they are seen.
yeah. All right, that's too bad. People killing frogs. Is
Yeah.
that usually like little kids or just anybody?
Oh no, anybody.
Okay. All
Because they
right.
think they're going to die or it's some kind of uh, curse. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of witchcraft and stuff associated when there's a lack of knowledge.
Okay.
So yeah. So it would be nice to be able to tell people that, either just leave it because it
Yeah.
will hop out on its own. Everything is very much open access. or just scoop it up in a cup or something and just tip it out, because
Yeah.
the outside is all very natural outside of people's homes. I'm rural, that's why.
Yeah. All right. Well, here I'm putting in the chat. This surprisingly has become one of our most read articles on the SaveTheFrogs.com website. And it is entitled Frog Myths, Folklore, Proverbs, and Fairy Tales. And I have not looked at it in a long time, but that may be of interest to people. But I think that the next Save the Frogs kind of educational flyer that we create should be about this, kind of aimed at that old, we'll say, because it does come from probably a long time ago when people just did not understand anything about them. These fears, and get some kind of poster that we can print and put around, especially in rural communities in those parts of the world. Hey, maybe we'll even do that later in this event if we feel like creating something here. All right. Thanks
Okay.
for yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Cool.
Enjoy your day. All right, let's see.
Okay.
We got some other people showing up here. And let's see. Dr. Sharma has been conducting events age group 8 to 90. All right, that's a big span. Share those pics. And where would one share the pictures of one Save the Frogs Day event? You could send it directly to me, but the best place is to go to SaveTheFrogs.com. Hey, I'm going to put lots of links into this chat right here. SaveTheFrogs.com/day-reports or SaveTheFrogs.com/day-report so that you can report your event, which hopefully you also registered. Where would one register their event? SaveTheFrogs.com/day-register. Hey, all these links, they're so hard to remember. Where are you going to find those later on at SaveTheFrogs.com/day? I'll get to you 1 second. I see the finger up there. Save the Frogs Day webpage has links to all of these important things: how to organize an event, how to promote events, how to register your event, how to report your event, how to communicate Save the Frogs Day, and lots of other things. Let's go ahead. I will add you to the spotlight, Dr. Sharma. And hello, how are
Yeah,
you? Are you in Rajasthan?
yeah. I am in Ajmer.
Okay,
I am sitting in the house where you stayed few years
okay,
back. So
good,
the same room
excellent.
standing. See, just to continue with the earlier question, these days I am also working on Mission Snake Bite Death for India. I am national coordinator. Nobody should die of snake bite death. And most time people they say that frogs they attract snakes. I say that if we have good habitat for the frogs, they would never enter in your house, and they don't like to enter. But you know, snakes are roaming here and there. So I carried this message in a big school here, Delbert Public School today. Very young students, 8 year of age, and then I organized a program, a big program, Save the Frogs Day, among senior citizens of Ajmer. A large number of people they gathered, and I told them that frogs are equally important because if frogs are there, they are managing the ecosystem. They are one of the connecting links in the food chain. So I told them that to the young boys, I carried your message that when you are traveling with your grandparents or parents in a car, please don't drive keeping your eyes closed. Take care that no frog should die on the roads. And I conveyed the message. 70 to 90 years of people, they were surprised that who is doing this great work in the world. I told Dr. Kerry Kriger, my friend, he is the pioneer in the world to carry the message that the frogs should survive on earth. And I am sure they were very happy to note that nobody, in their opinion, nobody has ever cared about the frogs. They say that we have never bothered about the frogs. So, Dr. Carey, it was a nice day today. Since morning up to 3:30, I was doing celebration. And when I came to know about 4 o'clock, I wanted to see you, 4 o'clock event. And then I came to the place where I'm sitting. And I am sure that everybody in the world, they enjoyed Save the Frog Day and they carried messages to different groups. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Sharma. Let's see. Hey, I'm going to share my screen right here. Here's a photo of Dr. Sharma. I just remembered when he was speaking, I've got this big folder full of photos of his events all around India. He has spoken in a lot of places and made a lot of people aware of frogs. And we actually traveled around Rajasthan in 2018, I believe January, and visited probably 10 different schools and universities. And he's been doing this a long time. So thanks for that. All right.
Yeah, I'm really thankful for remembering all those things. And in India, anywhere, every place, wherever I went, this nice banner you have provided, printed from Turkey, I'm carrying your message. And KK's message from United States and KK's message from India would save a lot of frog populations in India. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you. All right, everyone out there, if you just showed up, I am Save the Frogs founder, Dr. Kerry Kriger. It is the 17th annual Save the Frogs Day. I hope you're having a good time. And let's see, I'm just popping through these folders right here. I'll show you a couple more of these photos. Chhattisgarh, India, I believe. All right, so we got all kinds of people being educated at Save the Frogs events of all ages. All right, let's see who's shown up here. Let's see, Kenneth Odiambo Ndonga, Run Sandu Amphibians. I'm not sure what that means. Self-help group, an amphibian self-help group in Kenya. I don't know what that means. Maybe I guess the amphibians can improve themselves, or we improve their habitat and help them. I know that Kenneth had asked a question about how to connect with volunteers. Kenneth, if you're out there, it looks like you're unmuted. You want to say hi?
Yes, I want to say hi. I'm Kenneth
Hi.
Diakodonga. Yes, I'm doing well with my activities in preserving the environment, as well the frogs, and making sure people know the importance of keeping alive the frogs, because most of the people used to kill them. And also I'm looking for the volunteers who are interested to visit Kenya.
You want why do you need volunteers from outside of Kenya? Because you don't, well, why can't you find volunteers in Kenya? And what would the volunteers do?
Yes. I want them to, so that we can have some exchange ideas and other issues on preserving or protecting the frogs.
Okay.
Yes.
You want to exchange ideas. Well, we're in a good place for exchanging ideas. What do you have going on there? And what do you think the threats, if you're talking about your local community, what are the threats to the frogs in that area? And how do you think that they can be saved?
Because in my local area, I see many people, they used to kill their eggs. They put poison in these stagnant waters. And
you're saying on purpose they're killing the eggs?
Yes.
They just don't like frog eggs or toad eggs, or why do you think they're doing that?
They say that one they're killing eggs because they say those stagnant waters is the source of malaria. So they dislike it to be there.
Oh, they want to get rid of the water entirely. They're not especially focused on the egg. They're just damaging the habitat. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's see. I guess I would start by educating them that the frog, if they're concerned about malaria, we want the frogs to be eating the mosquitoes. We want healthy wetlands. What they need to be getting rid of is the water that's in like leftover tires and potted plants where the water, or garbage cans where there's just stagnant water that is not ecologically sound at all, as opposed to, I'm not sure what kind of puddles they are, but if it's a puddle out, if it's a natural puddle outside, then there should be communities of dragonflies and other things living there that help to eat and control the mosquito larvae. So it would be good to find out, like, if it's just puddles on the road puddles could be bad for frog eggs anyway, because the frogs may put their eggs there and then the cars just drive over them. So I'm not sure what that is, but back to the original question of finding volunteers. I'm not sure what kind of places there are around you. Universities could be good. I would start with a printed out flyer in your local neighborhood and put it where you think people who may care about nature hang out. Perhaps there's a local park where people go hiking, and maybe there's a local wetland where people go just for a walk, and there you're going to get more environmentally friendly or environmentally minded people to help out. That's what I'd start with. Also, we've got the frog savers in the Kenya, I believe it's the herpetology working group. I'm not sure if you know them. We did fund a Save the Frogs Day event that Jacinta is running, a Tuba Howard and Jacinta. I can't pronounce her last name, so I won't. But if you want me to put you in touch with them, I believe they're in Nairobi. I'm not sure how far away you are. What part of Kenya are you in, and how far is it from Nairobi?
It is 260 kilometers far away from Nairobi.
All right, significant difference. Okay. Let's see. Well, that's what I can suggest. I'm not sure what kind of social media your organization has, but what I would do is just get clear on what precisely you want the volunteers to do. And then I'd probably also put up a post on your social media or your organization website. If your organization has a website, feel free to chat that URL in right here. And thanks for showing up. Happy Save the Frogs Day. Hey, maybe I'll take this as an opportunity to show. Oh, do I have it hooked up here? I gotta hook up my hard drive. I'll show you a picture of me in Kenya. Meanwhile, everyone out there, keep those questions coming in. If you have not introduced yourself by chat, feel free to tell us where you're at, what you're up to, what kind of questions you have. And let me see what else has come through in here. All right. We've got the someone out there wants to talk. Who's that? Maybe not. Where's that coming from? I don't see anyone oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Hey, let me open up this photo. These countries, Kenya, 1989. Share my screen. Hey, 1989 photo of me. That was on the slopes of Mount Kenya, I believe. Let me see what else I have in here. All right. or not. Let's just keep on moving on. Anyway, that was the first and only time I was in Kenya. Hope to make it back there. All right, Frederick Kiyoko from the Nature Hub Collective. Feel free to put in your URL of your website, or I know you guys have an Instagram channel, so feel free to let us know. And you're in Kenya too, so it seems like you and Kenneth should get together. All right, I work with communities in the Taita Hills of Kenya, and we have a video. The video should be on our site, the Taita warty frog. Let me see if the video is on our site, and I'm going to go to savethefrogs.com. Hey, let me read the question first, though. All right, you work where the critically endangered Taita warty frog, Kalulina dawida, is found. What habitat restoration techniques have proven most effective for forest-dependent amphibian species in fragmented landscapes? All right, share my screen. Apologies if you hear background sounds. I'm in India, and India is one of the most honk-friendly places on Earth, and there's a major intersection not far from here, so that's what we're hearing. I tried to set my mic not to pick it up, but who knows what's happening. All right, so here I am, Save the Frogs Academy, and the first thing I'm going to do is click this button, countries, and come down here. Heck, Africa, that's not a country, but there are countries in Africa. So let's click Africa. I think I just combined everywhere into the Africa course. And hey, this does not say who the speaker is, but let me just see what shows up here if this is it. And that is not it. So let me type warty into the search bar. I like the search bar on the site, and it's not there. Okay, well, I'll work on getting it up on the site. So anyway, I believe that Thomas O'Deo gave a presentation on the Taita warty frog. Do you know Thomas, Frederick?
Thomas, who please?
What's that?
Thomas, what is the second name?
Thomas O'Deo.
No, really, I've never heard about.
Okay. All right. Let me then confirm, because I'm almost certain that he's working with that species, in which case you two should definitely get together, because he will probably have better information than I do. But let's see. O'Deo. All right, Thomas O'Deo. The Taita warty frog is an endemic and critically endangered species in Taita Hills Forest located in Kenya. The conservation efforts for this species will benefit the Taita warty frog and the entire ecosystem it inhabits. Capacity building and awareness raising are needed to ensure the species' effective management. Here, I will be presenting the work I've been doing together with the community to ensure that the frog habitat is protected. And he was a volunteer, maybe still is, at the National Museums of Kenya herpetology section, postgraduate student at Kenyatta University, MSc Animal Ecology. So I'm going to get you his email address, and I'm going to chat that to you right there. So talk to him. Now I will, though, answer your question. I have not been to the place, but see what I can tell you. All right, so let me go find it again. All right, habitat restoration techniques. So I'd like to know if you know exactly, like, what are the threats? I cannot remember to this species. And maybe it's that you say it's in a fragmented landscape, fragmented with agriculture. I'm not sure. It's up in the hills, so it probably needs to be up at a certain climate. I'm not sure if it's agriculture around there or why it's being fragmented. That tends to be the reason. And maybe that means that it's losing its forest. So that means that the habitat restoration technique would likely be to start planting trees. That can take a long time, but the woman who wrote a book that most people in Africa environmentalism know, and I can always I forget how to say her name, or even if I have it right, but I think of like Fangarai Matai. I don't know if that's right, but she wrote all about planting trees. And Save the Frogs Ghana planted about 15,000 trees for the giant squeaker frog. They had nurseries that were being run by, cared for by the local communities where that frog lives. So that may be one thing, is just get the forest going with native trees. It takes a while, but it's a long-term project and it benefits a lot of species and humans. Alternatively, if you know that it's wetlands being destroyed, then building wetlands is critical. So I think it just comes down to, you got to identify what the exact threat is and deal with that. All right, Nancy, I'm not sure who you were referring to. That was half an hour ago. Shruti Singh. All right, another question from Frederick. How can we effectively communicate the importance of amphibian conservation to local communities who may be focused on more immediate livelihood concerns? I'll say that everybody on Earth is focused on more immediate livelihood concerns. Okay, minus, I don't know, 5, 10, 20, less than 100 people who may be full-time amphibian people. Okay, amphibian people, amphibian conservationists. But generally, everyone's got other stuff going on. And I think first, especially if you're in Africa, and we've already heard that sometimes there's fear of frogs. I'll say, number one, you got to get rid of the fear of frogs. And then you can make people like frogs. And then you can make people, or not even necessarily in this order, but we've got to get rid of the fear of frogs. We've got to make people like frogs, appreciate and respect nature and wildlife. And we have to ensure they know that the frogs are important and worth saving, that they're going to get some benefit. And we've got to educate, inspire, empower people to do something good. So that may be empowering them with some finances to go out there. Maybe they don't care too much about frogs. They probably would if they're going to take a job doing something, but maybe you pay someone to run the nursery and to plant the trees. Or maybe you can get volunteers. Maybe you can get your local government forestry department to contribute their resources and their expertise and maybe even their land to doing something good for the frog. So I'd think about the kids, the schools, the people who are already on that career path, meaning the universities probably. And I'd think about the people who are actually tasked with the wildlife protection, which is the government agencies that hopefully exist. And you never know. Sometimes those people are difficult to deal with. Sometimes they're really helpful. Sometimes they have a lot of resources. And sometimes those projects take a long time because there's a lot of bureaucracy and you got to get a lot of people on board. So you better get good talking to people and be prepared for setbacks and just keep on going. But on SaveTheFrogs.com, we've got tons of information for you. We do in Save the Frogs Academy have some printable flyers and things like that. And let's see, I just put up in Save the Frogs Academy this week, I made a section called printables. Hey, I'll share my screen and just show it to you. And I no longer am on that page. Do this. Not like that, though. All right, we're on Save the Frogs Academy, SaveTheFrogs.com/academy. And we can come down here to printables and click that. And we have flyers. We've got stickers. All right, flyers, they're just like 8.5 by 11, A4, and you can just print those out on your own, put them up in wherever you think is an important place to put it up. Stickers, if you want to get stickers printed, stickers are like the best Save the Frogs gift ever because they're super small and inexpensive, and that means you can have them on you all the time, give to people, and they get a lot of happiness from that 10-cent sticker or maybe even less. So it's a good gift to have. So we've got the files all ready to go that you can print out. And we also put up some shirts, including a Save the Frogs Africa shirt. So the next time you have some funds for shirts, because shipping from the USA is usually prohibitively expensive, then you can download the file, print the shirt, and use it on your next frog saving adventure. We've got probably 4 or 5 different shirts up there currently. And my next step for these printables is to put up posters. A3, I'm not sure what that is, 18 by 24 inches, 24 by 36 inches, as we have already designed many posters over the years. So say you're in a university and you have a laboratory space, then maybe you can get the PDF downloaded, send it to your local printer, and put it up in your university or in your classroom, or print out some extras and take them to schools with you and get them up in the schools, or give it as a gift to that forestry department government employee that you know. We do also have some downloadable books. Hey, one of the books is got a stack of stuff over here. I'm going to be on for 6 hours. So I thought I should be ready to fill up the time with something. I don't expect you to be on for 6 hours, but you're welcome to stick with me this whole time. If you just showed up here, hi, I'm Save the Frogs founder, Dr. Kerry Kriger. Monday, April 28th, 2025, the 17th annual Save the Frogs Day. I am from the USA, but I'm currently in Calcutta, West Bengal, India. And one of those books that you can download, you can get the PDF for the Save the Frogs Little Book of Frog Poetry, Volume 1, featuring the best poems from the Save the Frogs Poetry Contest, savethefrogs.com/poetry, and featuring art from the Save the Frogs Art Contest, savethefrogs.com/art, and some tree frog art from Nick Gustafson in Oregon, who's been making Save the Frogs art for a very long time. Hey, he won our Save the Frogs Art Contest in 2014. And I'll read a frog poem here. Ribbiting in the Night by Kelly Stevens of the USA. In order to save the frogs leaping by freshwater ponds, we can't just wave our magic wands. We must take action to see a reaction. Even though these words are succinct, frogs need our help to keep from becoming extinct. I will have some more frog poetry later on. Hey, something else I just noticed. I don't have my Save the Frogs necklace on. So it's time to put it on. This was made by an indigenous woman in Colombia. And if you go to the Save the Frogs shop, savethefrogs.com/shop, we've got a whole range of different things that you can buy that look good and support our cause. Hey, let me fix this. Diego, Tiziano, Joe, Syed, Pulami, Nundan. If you're out there and listening, why don't you go ahead, chat in, tell us where in the world you're at. If you have any questions, let us know. Anyone can feel free to say, hey, how did you hear about Save the Frogs? Especially if you're new to Save the Frogs. How did you hear about us? How did you hear about Save the Frogs Day? Anything you're hoping to learn today? Meanwhile, I'm going to keep working down this list of questions right here. And I don't even know if I finish this one. That's such a big question. How can we effectively communicate the importance of amphibian conservation to local communities who may be focused on more immediate livelihood concerns? Yeah, you got to educate them, make use of the materials that are throughout the SaveTheFrogs.com website. And let's see, where's my little go-to? Hey, I used it today, and who knows where it went to. See if I have it. Who knows? You can go one of those flyers up on the site is called Spread the Word. I think that's what it's called. And it's just got like the basics. Okay. 2,000 amphibian species, roughly, threatened with extinction, a couple hundred species already extinct. Here are the threats to frogs. Okay. Habitat destruction, pollution, climate change, pesticides, overharvesting, and amphibian diseases, invasive species. Here's why frogs are important. Here's how you can help. So I would just start by educating people, show them good photos, get a collection of good photos that you can use. Create a slideshow. That's one of my next steps. It was supposed to be done for Save the Frogs Day, putting a collection of my slideshows online, of which, hey, my plan was to open up one or two, or who knows how many of my slideshows at some point today and go through some of them. But yeah, people like seeing pictures of frogs and they realize, oh, frogs are kind of cool. Take them out. You can lead a frog walk. Get your most important group of people. Who is the local community of interest? Is it the people living up in the Taita Hills? Then maybe you can get them together, hold a Save the Frogs Day event, and take them out looking for frogs, educate them about frogs. All right, moving onward. All right, Sansona in Mindanao, Philippines says, I'm currently working on my dissertation on a Philippine endemic amphibian. I noticed that cane toad is already invading isolated islands. That's too bad. I didn't know they were there. And high altitude forests, 1,500 meters above sea level. So to save the endemic species, I want to solicit ideas to eliminate the cane toad and other invasive alien Anuran species. Should we need culling like what others are doing with crown of thorns starfish in the coral reef? All right, I'm not sure what's going on with the crown of thorns starfish, but what it sounds like is it's one of many invasive species that has increased its population so much that it's causing a lot of trouble for the native species. I think the best thing to do would be to do research, find a literature review. I'm assuming one exists, a recent literature review of cane toad biology and management techniques in Australia, because Australia has a significant invasive cane toad problem, and a lot of research and action has been taken in the past 20 years, probably even more than that, because cane toads, I believe they got there in 1993. But I would find out what's going on in Australia with the management of cane toads. And if you think that it is necessary to do something about the cane toads, because you know that it's the cane toads that are impacting the native species, then I would start with that advice and even possibly try to connect with some current cane toad researchers and Nancy, who may be on right now. Hey, she even said it right there, right under your comment. Nancy's writing up an article on cane toads, and Nancy says, hey, you can give her information and it could probably go in the opposite direction too. Nancy, you should probably send your article to Sansona. But yeah, it would be cool if Sansona, if you do have knowledge of the cane toad issue there, maybe you can write just a single paragraph and then Nancy can add it as a bit of a case study or just sample into her article. All right, Pulami asks, can a frog or toad predict the earthquake as a bio indicator? Will they know that an earthquake is coming? I'm not sure, but that would be good if we could put them on the job predicting quakes. I don't know if they do a better job than our scientific technology. But yeah, I do not have information on that. All right, Choti sent in a cool photo of a red-banded rubber frog. All right, that's the only poisonous frog in Zambia. All right, here we go. Excuse me. Oh, I was up late saving frogs and up early saving frogs. And it's kind of hot here. So let's see. Frederick Kyoko, Nature Hub Collective. Everyone out there, you can go follow the Nature Hub Collective on Instagram and Save the Frogs there while you're at it, at Save the Frogs. All right, Jane likes the necklace. Go check out. I think we have savethefrogs.com/jewelry, because I don't think this one we have anymore in the shop, but we do have some other ones. We have some Miyuki frogs that were made especially for Save the Frogs. All right. Jane from Chattanooga, the Chattanooga Choo Choo. I passed through there one time, and let's see, that part of the world is close to salamander territory. I don't think you have too far to go to get up into the Appalachian Mountains. I'm not sure what they're like in Tennessee, but certainly if you cross into North Carolina, then that is the center of salamander biodiversity. And I think your question was, I recall seeing your question. Let's go check it out. About efforts in that area. Is there something I could do in Chattanooga, Tennessee that would help amphibians? Yeah, I don't know the exactly what's happening in Chattanooga, but I know you can be anywhere in the world and help amphibians, because we've got computers, we can volunteer, we can connect with other people, we can get stuff done in other places, we can donate, fundraise, and all kinds of things. As far as a local effort, our wetland expert and mentor, Tom Biebighauser, is from Kentucky, and he does wetland restoration all around the world. But I know that he regularly, or we'll say at least once a year, has something happening in Kentucky, and they usually seek volunteers for those events, and that would be a excellent way to help and a great experience. But yeah, I would suggest for Chattanooga, contact your local universities, see who's got biology group, if any of them have a herpetology, batrachology, amphibian biology laboratory, and maybe they know something going on there. See what kind of environmental groups are around. And that's all I can really tell you about the actual local area, just because I don't know what's going on around there. Hey, excuse me. Oh, hey, I'm not allowed to yawn during a Save the Frogs event. Hey, 1 hour in. Hey, we're 1 hour in. Thanks everyone for being here. I may even unspotlight myself and see, hey, we got a bunch of people here. We got Jack on the line. He's probably up early, I think. Maybe it's not actually that early anymore. Let's see. Jack, if you want to say hi, you're welcome to, and tell us what's going on in Cape Cod area. Jack's on. Jack likes to attend. We've got a lot of events that happen, not even Save the Frogs Day. We've got various online events. They should all show up on savethefrogs.com/events, the Save the Frogs events page. What's going on, Jack? Happy Save the Frogs Day.
It's yeah, same to you. It's actually sunny and warm today, so my menagerie should be out in the frog pond today.
And you're a meteorologist. or a climatologist?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, good.
That's becoming important because climate change is manifesting itself, I think, in horrendous rain events. That seems to be how this thing is manifesting because what people don't realize, every degree the average temperature goes up, the atmosphere can hold 4% more water vapor. So when it rains out, but good. And this is becoming a serious problem.
If there's a major flood that takes place somewhere, and say people's houses get flooded out, then what are the how do we know if that's just like naturally occurring event bound to happen and people just can't remember the last time it took place, or if we can actually say, yep, that's a climate change, that's likely from climate change? How do you think we determine that?
Latest example is what happened with Hurricane Helene. Rainfall amounts that fell were historic. They broke most records. So, and some of those records go back 150 years. And they broke them, but good. I mean, some areas in the Appalachians in western North Carolina, western South Carolina got over 30 inches of rain from this storm. And
30 inches?
30 inches of rain. And I've been looking at some of the, I'm in correspondence with people down there, and the problem is the rain scoured out all the riverbeds and small streams. So a lot of the wetlands just disappeared. There's nothing but solid rock in a lot of these areas up in the hills. So I'm sure that's going to do not too good for the amphibian population.
All right, thanks for that. What do you think we can do, I guess, as individuals? What are the steps as individuals to slow down climate change?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I think in some cases we may have reached the tipping points in a couple of cases. My concern is what's happening to the tundra. The tundra is melting, and it's releasing methane, which is a very, very strong greenhouse gas. It's worse than carbon dioxide. And the problem is it's kind of getting into a feedback loop. As it warms up, more tundra is melting, and as it melts, more methane is being released, and it's just this loop. And I'm not sure how we can stop it.
Right. Well, then let's focus on what we can do.
Well, it's interesting. I read an article that one scientist said that actually what might help is if we ever got another, like a volcanic eruption that dropped the average temperature across the atmosphere by a couple of degrees, it might be enough to start building up the snowpacks and refreezing some of the areas in the tundra, such that once you get a snowpack, it reflects sunlight, which helps.
When was the last time there was a volcanic eruption so big that it dropped the Earth temperature significantly? And
1990, I think Pinatubo, 1991.
Okay. All right. So we don't need one that's so catastrophic that it kills billions of people.
No.
A big one.
You don't need a Mount Tambora, which led to the infamous summer with the year with no summer in 1816. You don't need a Tambora.
Yeah, was that Krakatoa?
No, Krakatoa was in I think 1887.
Okay.
Tambora was in the Indonesia in 18. I think it went off in 1815.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Thanks for the input. Anything you want to tell us about frogs or anything amphibian related?
Yeah, I'm encouraged around here in Massachusetts. I been out in the wetlands, and the American toads, for example, are out singing like crazy. And we seem to have a very healthy population American toads in the wetlands, which means the wetlands are very, are very good. I think the town is very good in conservation, and they're very protective of the wetlands and keeping stuff out of it. And it looks like they're succeeding very, very well because, like I say, one of my buddies was out walking one of the ponds, and he says the bullfrogs are out already. So, I mean, it's very healthy. And, for a community that's very close to an urban city like Boston, that's a big feather in our cap, I think.
Okay, thank you for that. All right, good talking to you. Enjoy your Save the Frogs Day. And
yeah, I will. And I'll be here for a while, but then I had PT day for my problems.
All right, have fun there.
Oh yeah.
All right. Let's see. Dr. Sharma sent in a photo. I'm curious, is that from today?
Yes, these are the glimpses. There are so many photographs. Dr. Kerry, I have a question, and that is for coming few years. Temperature in many places in central India is increasing, and this increase may cause a lot of problem to many animal species, including frogs. I wrote a letter when I came to know in Ukraine, many frog species, including the endangered one, they have vanished from many areas. I made a request to the International Court of Justice. Please take care. You are taking care of the hospitals, you are taking care of the buildings and other things. But where our frogs will go when a big missile is landing at a pond or some habitats of the frogs? I tried a lot. I sent a lot of mails to them that with folded hand, please take care of our nice creatures. They evolved long back, millions years ago, and you are destroying them. Second component is global warming. You all know. So anybody can say that if the temperature goes more than 52 degrees Celsius in Rajasthan, for example, how are we going to protect, or what kind of changes we may expect in their breeding, in their metamorphosis and other things? Please say something about it.
All right. Hi. Okay. Let's see. I don't know how to address that. Can you repeat that? The temperature in central India is going up, and it's already hot there, I'm sure, in Rajasthan. And what would you like to know?
I would like to know the possible metabolic disorders or threats to amphibian species in areas like Rajasthan. There are many areas in the world.
Yeah. I would think that the main, I think of Rajasthan, at least as far as what I saw, it's a very dry place, and I can't imagine that there's not that much water around, and their lakes are going to dry up and puddles are going to dry up. So that's the number one thing. Then they have to metamorphose quickly to get out of there, and maybe even turn into, I'm not sure what happens there, but in some parts of the world, they may go cannibalistic to get enough energy to get out of the ponds on time. So perhaps building some wetlands or deepening those water bodies could help reduce that. And yeah, it'll also affect their timing of breeding. And, they could even skip a whole year if there's not enough rain. So hopefully it won't get hotter, but I think we should assume that it will, based on what we've heard from Jack here. So I would just start to think about how the populations that do exist, how can you make it a little bit easier for them to survive?
My next one point was those which are being killed in wars in wars like Russia-Ukraine war. Many frog species, endangered species, have either vanished or facing a lot of threats. What we can do for that?
We could watch your video in Save the Frogs Academy on the effect of war on amphibians would be a good start. I'm not sure how much control we have on a lot of that, unfortunately. And yeah, that's not a threat that I was actively dealing with when I founded Save the Frogs or for many years. And hopefully we won't have more of that in different places. But you never know. I'll say that the only well, I won't even say it, but yeah, there's not much. I don't know what to do about that one. That's there's some things, there's the things we can control and the things we can't control. And I like to focus on the things that I can control, so I can always go out and educate someone somewhere. And the things I can't do is control the government not that well. I can vote. I like frogs and I vote. And I even made a bumper sticker that says that. And you can download the sticker in Save the Frogs Academy in the new stickers course. And I can yeah, I can lobby my politicians and request they do things and let them know what I think. I could even go out there and protest and make a big noise, or I could just build a web page, publish it, share it, educate people, give other people the ability to do things. But anytime the government's involved, I usually assume if I have to be involved with the government, then things could take a long time because governments are slow to do things, and sometimes they don't ever do things, but sometimes they can get a lot done. So you just have to determine what you think your best actions are. All right, everyone out there, let's see. We're like an hour and 10 minutes in. I'm curious. I could take like a 5 or 10 minute break here, stop this recording, let it download, drink some water. Oh, Christian Sharma reminds me that hey, I promised to play some music here. So how about let's take like 5 minutes. You can hang out there. I'm not going to stop the Zoom meeting. I'm going to stop the recording so it can download, and I'll probably turn my video off and my sound off, and then I'll be back. Right now it's 5:11. It's 5:12 India Standard Time. So let's say I will be back at 5:18. Give me 6 minutes. All right.